Welcome back. Episode 5. It's the morning, so coffee is appropriate. Ooh, and I drink it out of a Starbucks cup. Not Starbucks coffee, goodness no. But because I want people to think I'm a basic bra. Thanks for sticking around on this series. Episode 5, and we've come a long way. It's been a pleasant surprise the entire time. Amazing. Now, I said in the last episode that I had in mind to drive this to church. I didn't think it was ready yet. It's still not ready. And even after all this, it probably still won't be ready. So, we're going to go over everything here. It runs, but not great. We'll be solving that, hopefully. But with this being Revival, it's going to need all the things that are often neglected on a daily driver, such as your brake fluid, such as your coolant, such as your gear lube. We already inspected and packed the bearings in the last episode, or episode 3, I can't recall. But this will be getting that golden treatment. And so we got everything we need here. We of course got the oil, we got brake fluid, and we'll sketchy, I think. So we'll check all the fluids, we'll tighten all the bolts, etc., and replace all the fluids. Of course, oil, I'm hoping she runs a lot better with oil. She does blow quite a bit of blue smoke. I think this can be a 1030 or even a 530. I have to look in the manual. Rule number 3, knowledge. I'm going to drive this into town. And for me, into town is about 30 minutes of highway. So she's going to get the beans. Let's get her ready. Oil change. Of course we're going to change the at least 20-year-old oil. If you've gotten this far and you're that interested in Z's, what's this, episode 4? Then I don't think you're really going to need my input on how to change oil. That's a lot bigger. Not bad looking oil, and still warm. So, quick things on oil. Hey Hazel.
This.
It's in my pocket. Hold on.
Well, I can't reach that.
Do not cheap out on filters. I choose to go Wicks. Just don't do a Fram. That is Class C garbage. And oil. Now, this has solid lifters. The general rule of thumb, anything that you need to adjust the lifters on has solid anything with solid lifters needs an oil with zinc. So, usual suspect, it's going to be diesel motor oil. However, this is a 1540 and I thought she was a bit too thick for this. The brand of motor oil, I go for the cheapest obviously since I'm sitting here with a can of Super Tech. But so we're going with a quality 1040. But this does not have the zinc you need. So, where's that thing? Well, I had a thing of ZDDP in my hand. It was just the cheap Super Tech additive. They said it had the zinc and the ZDDP, and that's what you're looking for. It costs $288, super cheap, but you need it for these things with solid lifters. So let's get to the brakes. We're going to be using .3. .3. Old school. Ooh, it's the heavy-duty high-temp formula. Whoops. That's all marketing wank. .3 specifies an exact temperature that this thing has to boil at. It's just regular .3. Synthetic. Everything's synthetic nowadays. That's more marketing wank. So .3 and 4 are interchangeable. This well, it says .3 right there. Look at that. They are interchangeable, but 4 has a higher boiling point, but only by like 10-ish degrees. So I don't think that's really matters. However, .3 absorbs more moisture. So we're going to stick with the 3 in here, and since the system has been, I guess, open in the back, we're going to push a lot of fluid through the thing to get her clear and get her running and get the brakes working right. Very contaminating, so I'm sticking with 3. Now the choice between 3 and 4 is a choice if your vehicle specifies 3. However, If your vehicle specifies .4, you cannot go backwards. Now, this is such a simple and elegant design. Look at this. 2 independent reservoirs. Now, there's two master cylinders here. One for the front, one for the back. This being the front, this being the back. And every car since, I don't know, sometime in the 60s has had the dual systems that are independent. However, other manufacturers cheap out. They do. They cheap out. See, we've still got 2 independent systems, but it's kind of dirty. The same reservoir, just being cheap. And this isn't a cheap car. The yoke was like $50,000 in its day. So 2 independent reservoirs, not the same fluid, no chance of it mixing or intermingling at all. Simple, elegant design. So 2 systems, either of which that can stop the car. Now I drove this around with no rear brakes at all. And as a result, the pedal went all the way down. And I'll explain why in a moment. Because here, there's several brake components here. This is the switch. You can see the wire coming out of here. Basically, it makes sure that both systems are operating correctly. If one system loses pressure, the brake pressure, you push the brake pedal, it'll push a little lever one way or the other, depending on which system has failed, and that will ground out this cable, which will illuminate your light. Simple design. There is a proportioning valve. Now, this has 2 functions. One, it doesn't let pressure come to the front until there's some sort of resistance in the back. So that ensures that the front is never braking all by itself. And 2, it limits the amount of pressure that can go to the back of the vehicle. Because, ideally, in an emergency situation, you want your fronts to skid just moments before your back. If you lock up the backs first, you get a bit squirrely, which is not a situation that most drivers can control. Now, this still stopped with 1 brake system. Effectively, one side was completely open. But it's sketchy, but I was still able to do it. Now, as with many cars, up until very recently, we've got disc brakes in the front, drums in the back. Now, let's get to bleeding. It's easy. Both the master cylinder and each wheel have a bleed valve right there. Basically, you're just removing all the air. Now, if you have a hose at the end inside of a cup or jar or something, and that's under the fluid level, you can brake and bleed all by yourself. Right there. So there's 2 bleeder screws, and that's on the driver's side here. We're going to start by bleeding these master cylinders, and we'll get all this gunk out of here. So really a 1/4 inch. Oh no, 3/16. 3/16. Bigger than a 1/4, but I think it's going to fit right over the end here. Fits right over the end there. Let me loosen this a bit more. Drop her right into there. We'll pump the brakes a few times. There we go. Alright, now for the same thing, put it in the back. Tight. Oh, that's solid. You might recall, where's the bleed screw on this? And of course now the tire is a lot wider, so shoot, we can get to it. Same procedure as we did up front, except this time we're doing it on our back. Not harder. So you open the bleed cap, you put your bleed hose right over the tip, just the tip. And you don't need a fancy smancy bleed kit to get this done. All we're gonna do is pump the brake a few times. Our jar will get full of fluid. As it does, this will pump air out. We also want to get all this gross, nasty fluid out. I guarantee you there's air in the back. because when we got this and first put fluid in it, there was no fluid in the back cylinder. So I don't know if we got a wheel cylinder leak or what we got. With this one, as long as I keep that reservoir full of fluid, I can just pump to my heart's content until we get all the nasty stuff out. Because I'm working alone. Because my wife's ambition for this project is none. Oh, that is nasty. All right, we'll keep at her. Yep, she's nasty. So, now I will tighten this back up. And this is fully bled, since this is under the brake fluid level in here. This is how you self-bleed without having a helper nor a kit. Because I sell a kit which I've never had, but I assume it works exactly the same as that. So, same thing on the other side. The things I do for internet fame, jeez. Right there, with a little rubber cap on it, is my bleed screw. This is just a little 10 mil. And luckily I made a little gap in there so you can fit. Serviceability. I mean, this was back when things were serviceable. So this is a proportioning valve. On, listen here. So now push the brake, you can hear. And you can hear it. What that valve does is one, different. So, and in there is our one switch. If that gets pushed either way, it illuminates the brake light. So, if my switch is working and not clogged, you know, I think I'm just going to use the rest of the brake fluid and bleed her out here. And we'll look at that stuff there. If I let my brake fluid get go, and this is a 2-chamber, I mean, obviously everything's been 2-chamber brake cylinder since the 60s pretty much. Alright, so before the brake pedal went to the floor, and pretty much almost right here, almost to the floor is when I would feel the braking. It was definitely on the front only. And now, oh yeah. Hold on. Did it solve the light, or is that, you know, if it didn't solve the light, that's fine. That switch has been stuck in that position for ages. Haha, no brake light. Nice. And look, yes! And the brake light's solved. Oh wait, it shouldn't be. Well, the actual reason for the brake light is solved. Yes! Working brakes. Working brakes. Things are looking up. Jeez, what a time. Now, let's talk gear lube real quick. That we'll need as well. Now, GL4 and GL5 are interchangeable. There's no contamination issues or any weird things that happen when you combine the two. However, the transmission in this calls for GL4, and you might think that that's just an old standard, you can upgrade to GL5. The answer is no, you cannot, because GL5 is a high pressure, hypoid gears or something, I don't know what that means, but the rear end in this actually calls for GL5, but the transmission calls for GL4, and for a reason. GL5, I guess, I'm told has some acids or something that eats away at the bronze inside of your synchronizers. So, this stuff says she can handle, I don't know, I might be making a boo-boo here, but according to this is suitable in applications for GL4 or GL5. and specifically specifies manual transmission. Now, I'm not sure if that means it's a GL5 spec, that's a different blend that will not harm your yellow bushings or whatever. I don't know. I'm hopefully not making a mistake here, because we don't want to have to rebuild. That'd be no fun. But I'm going to take Valvoline High Performance Gear Oil at their word, and we're going to use it. So, it should be a 1/2 inch. Yep, she's a 1/2 inch. There. That's always, I'm just going to break this, because a word. Gee, there's some Loctite or something in there. Yeah, buddy. Before you get that off, you need to get the fill hole off. Yes, get your fill hole off before you take out the drain plug. Trust me on this one. Some of us learned this from being idiots. Gotta get that from the other side. So, Mr. 3/8 is getting some assistance. And I'm sure it's good for this. I may have to bang that on. Ah, jeez. I gotta move this camera. I've never had one of these go smoothly. Not a one. Wait, we moved a little bit. I apologize that you cannot see that, but she happened. Alright, progress. There we go. Watch out for that. Don't hit yourself. Or punch the concrete. Yes. I don't know why this specific plug is an industry standard, because it's such a pain. Alright, have your catch pan ready. Sometimes you will get some stuff out of there. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? You can't even see that smell. Bring it over here a little bit. How many pumps does it take? Got her. We got her, boys. And see if the rear end treats us any nicer. Let's see here. Yes. Same rules as before. Let's finding all sorts of things. Me and this tank just sort of out here chilling. Oh, there she is. There we go. You know, doesn't look bad. So this did call for the GL5. Ooh. And we've chosen the cheapest variety, 80/90, called for a 90 weight, so then we'll work some magic here. Right. Let me forget to tighten that. Alright, so this gas tank. Jeez. Let me just tighten that now while I'm down here. Oh, there's always something. There's always something. Well, I'll save you the tedious bits, but What a fun time. Things are coming together. I'm gonna shut this off. Let's do some good driving footage or something. I'm gonna call this tonight. Yeah, it seems like an activity for tomorrow. Well, because of Geico, I did not get to drive this church today. As indicated in the last clip, they don't understand what a Datsun is, and it had to be personally verified, apparently. So, it was not insured when I left this morning, but then, when I was there, they sent me an email saying, congratulations, your premium went up. And it did. This. Oh, jeez. Went up $526 for 6 months. This thing's like $90 a month to insure. Once again on that classic insurance. But, hey, we're insured.
Great to see you. Things are a bit tight in here, aren't they?
This is gonna be fun. Alright. Things that are running.
You're recording.
Panasonic is recording. GoPro is recording. So, roll my window.
We can go check the mail. And I got a film camera
To take some gratuitous shots of this thing, as it would have been photographed in the day. We got brakes. I am going to wear my seatbelt for this baby, if I can get it out. And the seatbelt works. You hear that click? I gotta close this. We gotta get the audio. Okay. And no insurance ticket, last I knew, it's been a long time since I got one, is like $380 or $400 for the first offense. And that, I believe, carries points on your record. Okay, brake all the way down. But a no valid registration ticket. They make these for people with very long legs. Hold on. Oh, look at that. Okay, these shoes were not the right thing to wear. Come over there. Oh, look at them tan lines on that. Wait. Looking at the gauge there. Alright, oil right in the middle. The fan does work. Brakes work. Oh, but a no valid... Let me restart that entire clip. A no insurance ticket is about $400 and I believe that has points. I'd have to check on that. I think it does carry points. A no valid registration ticket, which I have gotten before, actually recently, is $85. It's cheaper than the registration on the vehicle. How cool is that? Brakes feel good. Alright, this thing is blowing hot air, so we're just going to shut her off. Now, I told the wife I was going to go check the mail, which is that way. Or... let's take us up to speed here. Sounds like she's floating about 55. Overdrive! Come, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I keep on having an issue pulling down. I'm not like I'm grinding reverse or something. Let's turn back. That is sketch and scary, and I love it. Turn the signal off. That's him. Wow. Oh, my bike. Yeah, get out of the way of the lens. What fun that was. Jeez. Oh, man. This thing's been absolutely unbelievable. This is the end of episode, I think we're on 5. End of episode 5. She's been fun. There is room for improvement. We got some drivability things. When you're just barely tapping on the throttle, like you're cruising in traffic, it bucks a little bit. So, a drivability thing there. We'll work on that. It appears to be holding its coolant now. That's good. Plenty of blue smoke behind me, but I think that's just natural. That's the way it ought to be. The way it ought to be. She's, we kissed 110 a few times, and that was enjoyable. There's a few things, power-wise. I mean, this motor, what is the red line at? 68? She's a rever. 2.8 six-cylinder. She's, I mean, J.A. Pan, they know how to rev up over there. So, but, you know, I feel like I'm starting to lose power before $5,000. It's, pulling off there. And I think I'm getting valve float at like 55. So there's nothing past, I mean, 55, valve float. That's, valve float is red line. Oh, man. What a time. Thanks for tuning in for episode 5. That was a blast. And there's going to be more to it. There's more to be done. There's more tire work to be done. There's drivability things to be done. All the steering needs to be fixed, apparently. When you go over a bump, you get some massive bump steer. You just feel her just jerk to the side. There's some shaking. That's probably a tire issue, most likely. See my comments before about the tires. Not necessarily the best tires. Or the tires are the best, but the rims, I mean, sketch. Lots of sketch there. So, there is still lots to be done. And she needs brakes. Front brakes. The pads look alright, but they're old, and you can hear it on the film there, how she's pretty loud when you give her some brakes there. So, thanks for watching. Yeah, do those things that you do. I really like those things.